Yes, he's good. Open your mouths. Yes, he's good. Yes, he's good. Yes, he's good. Yeah. Go ahead and open your Bibles. I know you have it. Gospel of Luke. I want you to find chapter number 6, verse number 48. You ready? That one is like a man building a house deeply. The foundation. When a flood arose, burst against that, but could not shake it because it had been well built. Go ahead and look at your neighbor directly in the face, dead in the eye, and I want you to say to him, built to last. Built to last. Built to last. Thank you, ushers, for serving as we all worship in spirit and in truth. Built to last. As we push back the curtain concerning the context of our lesson today, we find Jesus coming down from a mountain to instruct a crowd, a multitude of people. Yes. And he's coming down, if you can imagine, he's coming down to a level place. This partial selective teachings here in Gospel of Luke are actually pulled from a larger collection of teachings in Matthew's Gospel known as the Sermon on the Mount. However, being that Jesus is teaching the crowd on a level place, here in Luke's Gospel, instead of being on the backside of a mountain as presented in Matthew's Gospel, this portion of teaching is known as the Sermon on the Plain. Unlike the Sermon on the Mount, Deacon Simmons, which provides miles of material, several subjects, the Sermon on the Plain is more narrow and focused upon behavior, especially behavior dealing with human relationships. The Sermon on the Plain pulls in the people with critical clarity to be like Jesus in the way we think, in the way we speak, and in the way we act. So the words that Jesus speaks in this sermon, this teaching on the plain, becomes the very substance that fully qualifies people to be like him. Eugene Peterson says concerning this text, we must work the works of Jesus into our lives. When we work the words of Jesus into our lives, we actually think, we actually speak, we actually do what Jesus says. Doing what Jesus says be our lives in such a way our lives last, our lives remains, our lives sustains, it survives, it continues, it endures. The question is, do we have the type of life that can go through anything and still last? Let me ask that again. Do you have the type of life that can go through anything and still last? You just said that you was a miracle. You just said that the Lord is good. Now, that's what you said, right? The question is, though, do you have the type of life that can go through anything and still last? Now, I didn't say it would not be tough. I didn't say you wouldn't be hurt through the process. I didn't say that you wouldn't cry. I didn't say at times you won't feel frustrated. I didn't say at times you would not think about quitting. And I would not say that there's sometimes that you open your mouth and you can't even speak to God and say a prayer. I did not say there would be times that you would not think about hitting below the belt, or there would not be times where you feel like you cannot make it through. The question is, do you have the type of life that can go through anything, Audrey, and still last? I ain't talking about just exist and I'm just here, don't know why I'm here, but do you have a life that can last and still live on purpose? You see, back in 1941, Deacon Lewis, as the U.S. economy was recovering from the Great Depression and World War II was being raged and fought overseas, the mindset at home in the U.S. was to be prudent, careful, and even stingy. How many of you was in that time frame? Raise your hand. You don't want to talk about yourself because y'all stingy. If you didn't need it, you didn't buy it. That was the mindset. And if you did buy it, then you used it until it was no longer usable. So the Ford company, for their truck division, used long time ago the slogan, built to last. Now their slogan is built Ford tough. But they use built to last from then until now, understanding the mindset of the people. And so the company owners expressed that to buy a Ford truck was a smart choice. It was a wise investment. Because the mindset, if we're going to use it, we're going to use it until we can't use it any longer. So they said, well, what we have is built to last, being that for a proven workhorse. It was good looking. It had classic lines. It was had freestanding headlights, V-shaped grille. It was a dependable vehicle. It was qualified. Because all of these features, it qualified this vehicle simply as one that was built to last. And then now you have GMC truck. How many you got a GMC? Oh, look at brother, the first one. He got that red redeemed GMC truck. Now GMC, that's why you bought it, ain't brother Dennis? I know it was. GMC trucks has used the same slogan as well, built to last. What qualities GMC trucks has built to last are the features. They have a powerful engine. It's sturdy and reliable. Not just one day, but year after year, mile after mile. It has a top 5-star rating for safety, which means safety is a priority concerning the engine system, concerning the brakes, concerning the engineering features. And it says that it's a comfortable vehicle, which means it's roomy. It's flexible and cozy. Somebody just say with me, built to last. And this is the point Jesus brings home in the closing of this sermon, of this teaching. Jesus sets up this close of his teaching in a form of a question. He says, why do you call me Lord, Lord, and not do what I tell you? Why are you so eager to say you're a Christian? Why are you so eager to say I'm a believer? Why are you so eager to say, yeah, he good? But all that, but you don't do what I tell you. It's only when we do what Jesus says we can go through anything and last, remain, continue, endure. Come a little closer. Doing what Jesus says, Tony, is a process. No one ever gets up and say, today I'm going to do what Jesus says. Just out of the blue. Just you ain't been through no training. You ain't been through nothing. Ain't nobody just going to get up. You and I didn't just get up one day and say, I'm just going to do what Jesus says. No, it's a process. And here's what Jesus says about this process. Jesus looks to the crowd and says, I will show you. When he says, I will show you, he's not talking about entertainment purposes. He's not talking about for somebody to be seen, but he's talking about evidence. He says, I will show you, here it is, what someone is like. Someone is like has nothing to do with appearance. It has nothing to do with our bank account. Sister Ray, it has nothing to do, you was right on this morning, it has nothing to do with what we wear. It has nothing to do with the community we live. It has nothing to do with what we drive or the wage that we earn. But it has everything to do with the manner in which we live. In other words, Jesus says to this crowd, if you want to know how someone lives, here's the evidence. Now again, the evidence points to the process. Y'all with me? You got to have the process, and then you will know what this person is like. But you got to follow the process. Here's the process. A person that comes to me. See that? A person that comes to me, here it is. Here's what I say, and then acts on the word. You got to come to Jesus, right? You got to hear what he says, and then we got to act on the words he's speaking. Well, that's simple. We can go home now, right? You come, you hear, and you act. But it's not really that simple because we got to break down these words. Come speaks of a choice. It's a choice, here it is, to move forward, progress. When he says come to me, he ain't talking about coming to a building on Sunday morning. I think we understand that now, right? We come here not to forsake. We come here to be sharpened with sharpen one another. We come here to edify each other. So coming to Jesus doesn't mean, well, I made it to church, or I feel bad because I ain't been in 3 weeks, so now let me go. Well, I got that checked off. I came to church. I came to it. No. To come to him, it has to be a mindset. And the mindset is, I'm getting out of this to be developed in that. So to come to Jesus is that I'm moving from a place. I'm moving from a place that I know I cannot grow, much less continue to live in, if I really want life. And so how do I get there? How do I advance? Again, it's a mindset. That means I have to have a hunger. I got to have a thirst. Even, here it is. I know I have some who agree with me. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when you don't want to deal with certain folk. Because it ain't about the certain folk that you're trying to impress. Coming to Jesus is a mindset that I have a hunger and I have a thirst for him to develop me. That's coming, right? And then he says, watch this, what the hunger and the thirst, it can't just be a hunger one day and a thirst 1 minute. But it has to be a constant and consistent hunger, a constant, consistent thirst. And what happens is, what stretches, what extends the hunger, the thirst, is hearing the words. It's one thing to come to Jesus, but now you got to hear something. Hear the word. Here it is. It instructs us concerning obedience. Hear me. Without hearing, without instructions, we get caught up in the repeat offender tones of Lord, Lord, just doing church stuff. I remember years ago you say church train. just being church trained, just doing things because mama and grandma and great-grandma did it. And what we learn, even with these new generations, that's not holding them, because they're saying, if I can watch you online, why I got to be in the house? There ain't no connection that's drawing me. So in other words, we can't do gimmicks and give out brownie points and all that stuff, but it has to be something that draws people. And the only thing that can draw people is not entertainment, but it is the word. Watch this. We can't just continue falling into the Lord, I'm a Christian, I'm going to heaven anyhow, but failing to do what is said because we did not hear, we were not instructed concerning the how. I came to Jesus, we got excited because somebody gave their life to him, but how many of us are walking beside folk to disciple them to make sure they know the how? A lot of us have been in church for a long time, but still don't know the basics. And just to have a praise party, it won't hold you when the storm comes. Ain't nothing wrong with a dance. Ain't nothing wrong with a cry. Ain't nothing wrong with a shout. I shout, I run, but I need something to know that once I finish, I got something to hold me. Look at somebody say, I need something to hold me. Yeah. Now, come closer, because I want you to understand that it's not just listen to the pastor. Now, I have the pastor-teacher gift, and I'm here to tend, to feed, and to what? To make sure I give to you. That's great. But you can't. Now, I know don't come for me. I know I ain't the tallest man, but you can't put me in a little box in your little pocketbook and take me home and say, okay, pastor, I need a word. Don't come for me. Yeah, put me in your little pocketbook. Tell me, come on, pastor. No, you got to have the word for yourself. Now, what that means, pastor, that means hearing takes time. It's an investment. It involves studying, asking hard questions, demanding true answers. It requires an open mind, open heart. It's going beyond familiar. It's seeing it the way God sees it. It's being challenged. It's having the courageous conversations that we did this morning. It's thinking critically. It's knowing better and doing better. Amen. Doing better now, Lance, is acting on the word. It's putting into practice. And that's what we do every day. If you didn't get it right, get your hips back up, put it back into practice. Amen. Here it is. Stop claiming it. Start doing it. Come, hear, act. Our lives depend on it. Come here, Deke. 1, 2, 3. Quick. You have to learn what you do. You get in front, Brother Tony. You get behind him, and you get right here. Vincent is the one who's coming. Irma is the one who hears. Tony is the one who acts. Now you got to understand that you can't act if you haven't heard. And you can't hear want to be developed. So it's when the coming connects to the hearing. And when the hearing connects to the acting. Move, Tony. Then you move. Keep moving. Now, only when he don't hear, he don't feel a touch, he can no longer what? So it's only when he feels the touch. Now, a lot of us, what we may do, we may come as here. We are so obese on the word, but we never put it into action. It's only the touch that keeps that. If you feel a hand, I want you to move, Tony. Take your hand off. Y'all with me? Take your hand off. So it ain't no way she can move if you don't come. So again, if I'm not acting, it may be because I'm not hearing. If I'm not hearing, it may be because I have not come with the desire to be developed. So watch this. When we come on Sunday morning, you ain't waiting for me to put your hand here and put your hand here. You should already, Tony, I think you feel a touch. You should already be moving. You should always be moving and doing what God says do. Notice they ain't stopped. Don't stop unless you take your hand on. You keep on going. You see, watch this. Y'all up there looking at, watch this. Everybody can't go with you. Sometimes you got to move out of certain people's faces and presence and let God take you where he needs to take you. But don't wait to find a move of God when you get here. You should already have the movement inside of you. Come here. Act. Hallelujah. But they all have to function in one accord. Well, keep on moving. Oh, okay, now you can stop. Did y'all notice that?
Yes.
Did y'all notice that? He kept on moving until he didn't feel a touch. Anytime you stop in life, you better go check your hearing. Or do you still have a desire to be developed? It ain't on them because you stopped. It was something in me that caused me to stop. Yes, when we come to Jesus, when we hear the word, act on the word, here it is. That's the process. Then Jesus opened this thing up. Here's our text. We're going home. He says, I'm going to show you what you like. You see, a person that comes, hears, acts, I'm going to show you what this person is like. He's like that one, possibly like a carpenter that is building a house. Stacy, the house represents our life. We are in this world doing what? Building our lives. But the question is, what are we building upon? The carpenter digs deep, which means it takes time. There has to be an effort, not excuses, and there has to be energy. Watch this. He's digging, which means it's what? It's continuous. He's digging deep. Why is he digging deep? To be absolute. He's not taking any chances. Why? Because it's not based on what he or she said, but getting it for ourselves is only upon us. Okay, somebody missed that. How dare us to be so naive to only depend on what she says or what he says and somehow say we're going to get a word from the preacher. If you coming to get a word, I want to ask, why don't you already have it in you? The word is for all of us, but we must be willing to dig deep for ourselves. I can preach until I turn purple, but if you ain't digging for yourself, you're not moving. You tell somebody on your road, say, you got to get it for yourself. Then we can agree. See, y'all missed it. See, the reason why we come in this place, we come to agree on the word. You don't come to necessarily get a word because you have the word. But the question is, what you've been studying, can we agree on it and worship? Can we empower each other? Can we edify each other? Watch this. If we do not have the word, then we have nothing to agree upon. And if this is the case, if we have no word, our lives are not built on the word, then watch this. We become like mere fish wandering in the water, falling for bait that's attached to a hook. So the question is, who or what is hooking you? We're looking for a hook. We're looking for something to get us through. You mean tell me you waited all the way to Sunday to wait for a hook? That's right. You mean to tell me you've been going through all week long and you hadn't read the word for yourself and you waiting to get to Sunday to get a hook? Because if we're not grounded in the word, I want you to understand the hook is designed to pull us from a position of life to a position of death. Listen, we ought to keep digging until we get connected to the revelation of God in the person of Jesus Christ. It's not about what I told you to look at, but it's about what you already see. Oh God. What are you seeing? Because watch this. If I don't know it already, anybody can tell you anything. Hooked. And sometimes we as church folk get hooked on foolishness. It's not word, it's foolishness. Don't wait till the hook comes. Come and agree with what you already have in you. The question is, what has God shown you? And you know it because you dug deep enough that it was revealed to you. Stop waiting for a man to reveal something to you. The only revelator we have is Jesus the Christ. He is the truth and the revelation. What do you know? How do you know it? Whoa! Because how many of you know it's only upon Christ, it's only upon the word, the firm foundation that gives us the strength to keep going. You can't get to him or her when you're going through. Because half of you don't know your address. So I can't get to you when you're going through. Y'all laughing, I'm telling the truth. You can't wait till a man or a woman to show up. Oh yeah, it's good to be in partnership, but I need you to know revelation and relationship with Jesus Christ. When you're going through some stuff, how you know you can get through it? Do you have the word? Are you built upon the word? Watch this, watch this. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that I don't need you. I'm just saying I'm built on Jesus. Okay, somebody missed that. I'm not saying that we don't need each other to survive. I'm just saying I'm built on Jesus. Y'all don't hear me. Because when you leave me and when you talk about me and when you do something that I don't like, my faith won't fail because you left. All you become to me is a resource, not my source. And that's why some of us are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, because our little God has left us, hurt our feelings, broke our heart, and we couldn't keep moving because we had nothing in us to move us. And so we come in here looking defeated. How you doing? Well, I'm making it. You all right? I guess I am. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be. How dare you say I'm just made? This is the day. Look at somebody and tell them, what day didn't he not make? He made every day. I don't care who they are, how they left you. If you got God, you can make it through the day. I'm not saying, Tyrone, I don't need you, but I'm built on Jesus. I need you, but I'm built on Jesus. You're valuable in my life. We need each other as the body of Christ, but I'm built on Jesus. My source is Jesus. Okay. Watch this. No matter what storm rages or what flood bursts in our life. Go quickly to chapter 6, verse 48. I need y'all to see this. I just want to read it to you, and then you can go home. You can go home and get back in the Word. Watch this. That one is like a building a house who dug what? And laid the foundation on what? Laid the foundation on what? Laid the foundation on what? What are we digging until we get? The rock. Who? Jesus. You can't just get it because you listen to a 35-minute sermon. You have got to dig every single day. He says he's like one who's come, who's hearing, who's acting. He's like one who's dug deeply. You keep digging until you know it for yourself. And when somebody's speaking, you say amen, so be it, because I know what they're saying is true. And if they ain't saying what's true, you keep your mouth shut and don't say amen. When a flood arose, here it is, the river burst against that house. What's the house represent? My life. But it could not, say it again, it could not, say it again, it could not, say it again, it could not, it could not shake it, no matter what storm rages, what flood bursts, you name it. Let's go down the road. Sickness, accidents, suffering, depression, disappointment, family tension, abuse, mistreatment, sin, and death. It's because you went through the process, coming, hearing, acting over. When the storm comes, notice it says when, which means it's coming. That's something that's getting ready to rock and shake you and rock you. That's something that's getting ready to blow the whole world apart. But tell somebody, when it comes, oh Jesus, I'm built on the rock. I'm built on Jesus the Word. And if I'm built on the rock, guess what? It will not shake us. Now, do you understand what shake you mean? It comes from the Greek word that means to agitate. And really what we get our milkshake from is to stare. The question is, what's staring you up? You take milk and you take ice cream, you do what? Yeah, you stare it. The question is, what is staring you? What's staring you? What agitating you? Gets on your last nerve. You're thinking about it right now. Who is she? Who is he? What is it? Here it is. He's saying that you should not go through the day and allow something to take my place. You shouldn't allow anything to agitate you to a place that you're not focused on me. You should not allow anything to take you there where you're not still, where you're not focused. You may have a moment where you can't get the prayer through. You may have a moment where you don't feel like worshiping. You may have a moment where you don't feel like praising him. But whatever it is, I know this is the day the Lord has made, and I'm not going to allow anything to move my focus, shake me to the place where I don't know who my source is. What you mean, Pastor? I'm simply saying that if I'm not built on the Word, then I have a shaky faith. My time is shaky. My commitment is shaky. My purpose is shaky. My study is shaky. My decisions are shaky. The direction I take is shaky. Pressing, hanging on. Who I let in my life and who I let out is shaky. The question is, are you built to last? But this is what I need you to catch. Come a little closer. Watch this. When you read Matthew's gospel, the Sermon on the Mount, chapter 7, verse 25, Matthew uses the flood and the rivers as plural. But when you notice in verse 48 of Luke, Luke uses the flood, the river, as singular. Here's the question. What is that one thing that shakes you? What is that one moment that still agitates you. In other words, you was having happiness and joy until it happened again. And instead of reading the Bible all day, you was worrying about getting somebody told. You was worrying about looking on Facebook and see what they said about your comment. You was worrying about calling everybody. You blowed up everybody. Come on, you getting all worked up. They don't know who they messing with. They don't know who they messing with. What is? See, it's not always a lot of stuff. It's that one thing. It's that one person. It's that one situation that I have a hard time getting up. What is that one thing? He says, if you're built on the rock, stop trying to go everywhere and get advice for everyone. If you built on me, if you dig deep enough, he says, I'm going to give you a peace that when it comes back up in your life, it can't shake you. It won't agitate you. It won't take away your joy, and it won't take away your peace, and it won't take away your safety. Here's the truth. We allow that one thing, that one issue, even that one person, to stop us from coming. We allow that one thing, that one person, that one issue to distract us from hearing, to investing and digging. We allow that one thing, that one person, that the one situation to cause us not to act, to practice the word openly and publicly. Listen to me as we close. Listen to me, come closer. We do not get to choose which storm arrives in our life. But we do get to choose the foundation upon which we are built. Build your life on the rock. Make this decree. I will never, make it, don't be scared. I will never, from this day forward, I will never, ever allow that one thing to shake me. Now, you just made that decree. And everybody in here heard it. So as soon as somebody come in here talking that poor mouth, you no. Are you digging? Are you digging deep enough? Because if you are, I got to be crazy enough to believe the Bible. If you are on the Word of God, it should not agitate you to the place where you lose your focus and you lose your confidence. Will you have a moment? Yeah. Will you have a day? Yes. And sometimes you will have an experience that will rock you like you've never been rocked before. All I'm saying is, keep coming. Keep hearing. Keep acting. And you will be like that man who dug deep until she reached the rock. And when that issue came again, when you walk back in a house and ain't changed, your job and they still playing games, when every time you turn around it's something after something after something after something, and then boom shakalaka, something that's fall out of the sky and hit you. You ought to be prepared that you are on a rock. And when it comes, tell somebody it's coming. Look at somebody and say, will you be next? It's coming. But here's the question. Can you go through anything and your life still last? Or are we just existing, responding to everything that somebody says, getting high blood pressure because we wearing ourselves to death? Or are we, let me say this, just reading a devotion that somebody in Nashville, Tennessee wrote is like putting a shovel in the ground and trying to get your day started. Well, I read my devotion today. No, you read about somebody's loyalty and their experience to God. The question is, did you read the devotion and whatever scriptures they provided, did you take time to study them? Or did you just read the thing that pops up on your phone and say, Lord, thank you for waking me up. God be with me because I ain't got time for them today. Amen. You know what? Let me say this. I believe in you so much. I believe the power of God, the Spirit of God in you so much. I believe it. That you know what? You should be at the place in your life now that you're writing your own devotions. Let's stop making other folk rich, reading their stuff when you have a story to tell yourself. Get you a journal if you don't already have one and start writing down your own stuff. Find the scripture. Allow God to lead you to the scripture that says, this is how I got you over. When you were sick in your body, this is how you made it. When your own family mistreated you and kicked you out, made you feel like a dog, this is how you made it. When you thought you was all by yourself, when you was raped and abused and left there, this is how you made it. Tell yourself, I got a story to tell. But I got to dig deep enough to see the rock and understand this is why I'm still standing. I'm not standing because of nobody else, but I'm standing because I'm standing on the solid rock. Do I have some real folk in here that say you're here today, not because of medication, not because of some advice. Thank God for the resource, but I'm here because of the source. Oh, Christ, the solid rock, I stand. All of the ground are sinking sand. My God, I could never imagine losing a child. No, I could not. But I want to thank God for Brother Franklin and Deacon Jenny. I know they're going to be all right. But you can't miss that it's hurting them. You can't miss that their world has been shaken. He knows what Lana is. But the point is, she understands who she's built on. She may not talk much now. She may not be her normal self. God is just taking them through a transition, but I bet you if you ask her, she knows who she's standing on. The question is, who you standing on? Where are you? Where are you?